a stranger in a coffee shop asked you, "When has God shown up in your life?" you might find the question a little odd. But if you paused, chances are you'd have a story to tell. At St. Mark's, we believe God is at work everywhere, and everyone has a God encounter story. Inspired by StoryCorps, this Lent we're introducing GodCorps, an opportunity to record a short interview and share an experience of God at work in your life. We'd love to hear your story.
It's Father Jonathan here again, this time with Steve Mosher. Hi, Steve.
Hello, Jonathan.
So, of the 4 questions, you want to tell a story about a turning point in your life and how God was involved, right?
Yes.
So tell me.
I could probably think of a few, but the one that came to mind was how I ended up here in the Fox Valley and being a professor for 30-some years at Wheaton College.
That sounds pretty huge.
I did not have any kind of a liberal arts, Christian kind of educational background. I was always a big state university person.
Didn't you go to LSU?
For my doctorate.
Okay.
Yep. And Virginia Tech for my undergraduate.
Which do you identify with more?
Well,
are you a Hokie or are you a Tiger?
I think that I'm more of a Hokie than a Tiger. Yeah. Although as far as maybe the best quality geological education, it was my master's degree at State University, New York at Binghamton.
I've
It's
never heard of that.
not a well-known university. But see, New York has several state universities rather than the.
Right.
You know, and Binghamton is one of the 4. So
cool.
So anyway,
yeah.
I was. I guess, I was becoming, deeper in my faith from the time where I made my commitment to Jesus as a sophomore in college, and that's a totally different story. But I did have a mentor at Virginia Tech who was a Christian and one of my geology professors. Mm-hmm. And I learned at some point that he had gotten his degree at Wheaton College.
Okay.
And so I thought that was kind of cool.
And you knew what Wheaton was?
All I knew was that it was a Christian college. They loved C.S. Lewis, and they had a mastodon. Those were the 3 things
Wow.
that I knew about.
So some heavy research.
Yeah, really
heavy
research.
You really knew your stuff about Wheaton. Good.
And in fact, when I was at LSU for my doctorate, there was a position open at Wheaton, which I didn't apply for. And someone had applied, and it had the statement of faith for Wheaton College. And the student at LSU kind of put it up on the graduate school bulletin board as sort of something to mock.
Oh.
Because the expectation that you actually believed
right.
what they stood for in Scripture. And so I was aware of it, but I just didn't really see myself going in that direction. And I ended up taking a position at the University of Kentucky. And for a year or so, seemed like a pretty good fit. But then I just really felt like I didn't belong there. Mm. And I just was not happy with just sort of the politics and the particular activities in the department, and just didn't really get a lot of support. So I had joined an organization of Christians in the Sciences called the American Scientific Affiliation, and I decided to go to one of their annual meetings, which was at Messiah College in Pennsylvania, and I met some professors at Christian colleges. The only professor I knew that went to a Christian college was this professor of mine at Virginia Tech, but he was at a state university. And so at that meeting, I thought maybe this is what I should do. And then plus I had a mentor who was not a Christian, but a professor at the University of Cincinnati who'd gotten to know. He seemed to take a liking to me. And we'd do field trips together, our 2 universities. Right. And much older than me, and near retirement, in fact. And he one day he said, I think you'd be happier at a liberal arts college. And I just hadn't even talked to him about that. And so that was really interesting to hear that. And then I, had been to this meeting at Messiah, and I remember telling my wife Carol as we were driving back to Lexington, if a job at a place like Wheaton ever opened up, I really want to apply for that position. And the thing is, there were only 3 colleges in the whole Christian college university consortiums that had geology degrees. So what's the chance?
Right.
And
how many so I mean,
and they're all small departments.
what are you thinking here? Like 8 jobs?
Yeah, exactly. In North America.
Total. In North America, right.
Right.
So you need one of 8 jobs in the whole country.
Right, exactly.
That'll be easy. That's going to be a piece of cake.
And none of the geologists from Wheaton were at this conference.
Okay. So no one. There are 8 jobs.
Yeah.
This sounds like Jericho. This sounds like
it's just like it probably would happen, but I would do it. I would do it.
Okay.
2 months later, in a professional geology bulletin that has job advertisements in it, Wheaton College had my name on it. It literally, because every course that they were looking for, all of that stuff, I had already developed, at the University of Kentucky. So then I got in touch with the chair at the time who was looking for someone, and I had the opportunity to interview. But I have to go back to my mentor at Virginia Tech. He must have put in a good word for me.
You think?
Oh,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that I owe much more than this is meaning a lot, because I accepted Christ at the guy's dinner table when I was a sophomore. So I owe him a lot, right?
Yeah.
But one of them, I think.
Well, maybe don't owe him anything, but you're grateful to
yeah,
him.
exactly. Yeah, there you go. That's right. I owe only one, only Jesus. But I'm sure that had a huge impact. And so I came to interview, and it went great, and I got the job, and
when you left, like the interviews, did you know, like, oh, this is going to work?
I knew that I would have a good shot at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't.
And when you were interviewing, did you feel like God's presence? Did you have a sense of like, man, the Lord
I
is
just
doing
felt
this?
like, what an amazing place.
Wow.
You can really talk about your faith.
Okay.
And I really was interested in getting in the science-faith dialogue.
Okay.
And I could have done that at a secular university. A lot of people
Sure.
do, and they're very successful and fruitful in that kind of ministry. But oh my gosh, it just really was a blessing to be at a place like Wheaton and to be able to pursue my passions professionally, but also
And even the
grow.
textbook that you wrote.
Well, I did end up writing a textbook with some other professors there on origins,
Right.
where we looked at cosmology and geology and biology, and so and that whole cross-disciplinary thing, to have friends in philosophy and all the other parts of the liberal arts, I never would have gotten at a big
Right.
state university. You're so siloed.
Siloed, right, yeah.
And so God was absolutely opening doors there. I mean, I really think He did lead me to Kentucky. It wasn't a mistake.
Right.
But I grew so much out of that experience, and I probably wouldn't have been as successful and even useful to my students we don't have a graduate program at Wheaton, so that I could really prepare them for that eventuality. So I just feel like God just grabbed me by the hand and led me through the whole thing, and I didn't deserve it.
I wonder how many students do you think you've influenced over your 30 years now? I mean, like, so God set you up for this job. He put you in this place. Is there a number even that you think?
Well,
like one guy, that professor who influenced you, that you accepted Christ at his dinner table, and you went on. Maybe put a good word in for you. I don't know. How many? What would be the number for you?
Maybe 300.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. I once made
300 lives.
I once made a list of all the students who took this one particular class in the major. And so I did classes with many people that were non-majors, but this one, and the number was up in the high 200s. And so then there would have been other students I would have been in contact with
that are now out in the world doing their thing.
Oh, and just blessing me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, also like listening to the Lord, doing the sciences, entering that dialogue.
Yeah, and even the ones that didn't pursue geology. I mean, that's one thing you learn at a liberal arts college, is because you have a degree in a particular thing doesn't mean that's what you're going to do.
Right.
In fact, this is the world where you need to be able to flex like that. So, it just blesses me so much.
That's awesome, Steve. I love it. I love that God brought you here, and I'm glad that you're still here for me to do life with you.
Well, thank you. I do too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of St. Mark's Episcopal Church, GodCore. If you would like to record one of these episodes and tell your story about how you've experienced God, please use the link in the notes to schedule your time. We look forward to hearing your story, and we hope that you continue to tune in to hear ours. Thank you, and God bless you.